Yes, Trinidad, it's your favorite hardware island express. We are having a massive sale on all items. Don't mind the prices you may see on the products because you can negotiate your prices and budget with us. No other hardware can do it like us. Come in today and take advantage of this massive sale. We are located Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity. You can also call us at 308-5318.
Tell you this, whether or not Stuart Young serves 1 day, 2 days, 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months as Prime Minister of this country, how it works is that he will receive $87,000 a month for the rest of his life. Because what happens is that your pension as a Prime Minister does not start like members of Parliament when you are 55 years old. It starts automatically when you demit the office of Prime Minister. I want you all to understand that very clearly. At any age, once you demit the office of Prime Minister, you are entitled to the $87,000 a month. And Stuart Young, if he serves 1 day or 6 months, he will be entitled to that. Now you might ask yourself, where am I going with all of this? I told you about the timing of the Prime Minister's announcement. I want to ask the Prime Minister from this platform tonight whether or not it is true that the administrative arrangements have not been made because there's a process that will be followed, and that the administrative arrangements will only be completed at the end of February. At the end of February, for the Prime Minister and the government to receive the new salary of $87,000 a month, and that is why you're hemming and you're hawing from exiting the office of Prime Minister. Come out and tell us that it is no trip to Barbados to meet Mia Motley. Instead, it is your own selfish greed that you are seeking your own personal interests. And that is why he's giving himself the leeway, the time of December gone. He holding on in January. He waiting for February because he knows at the end of February, the administrative arrangements will be completed. And that is when the new salary will come into effect. And he's only going to demit office when he could pocket that $87,000 riding the back of the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, Trinidad, it's your favorite hardware island express. We are having a massive sale on all items. Don't mind the prices you may see on the products because you can negotiate your prices and budget with us. No other hardware can do it like us. Come in today and take advantage of this massive sale. We are located Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity. You can also call us at 308-5318.
Okay, my friends, a pleasant good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. Those of you who are locked on, those of you who are anticipating our program, Hardfacts on Sentinel Media Broadcasting. I am your host, Imam Rashid Karim, my co-host, Mr. Quinton Baldew. We are here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, starting time 12:15 in the afternoon. Again, my friends, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you all. Thank you all for your kind compliments that you have been giving us and the information that you are sharing. We would like to thank you all. Again, today in our program, there's lots and lots of information that we are going to disseminate. And we ask you all, my friends, to join with us and call us at 3722129. Those are the numbers that you can reach us, 3722129. If by chance, you are shy, like many people are telling us, and Imam, we are shy, and I'm a very shy person. And sometimes I am scared that some people might know my voice and all these things. Don't worry, my friends. This program is your voice, it is your ear, it is your eyes. And again, my friend, we are here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Those of you who are maybe in the international forum, there's lots of news that really and truly needs to be highlighted. But again, that is for another network. We are here identifying the local atrocities that have been perpetrated upon us by the government of the day. Sometimes you're going to feel that, hey, it's time for me to migrate. That is how the call is being made at this present time. Lots of people are stating that they are looking for places that not America or not only South America or Canada or England. The citizens of our country, all they are concerned with is their peace of mind. Because you don't have peace of mind, basically you are not going to be healthy, your health is going to be eroded, and again, my friends, you're not going to live in your country as it's supposed to. So again, I want to hand over to my friend, my co-host, Mr. Quinton Baldew.
Thank you very much, our revered and illustrious Imam Rashid Karim. So my friends, once again, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, and a pleasant Monday, good afternoon to our viewers on Sentinel Media Live Broadcasting. You are viewing the program Hardfacts, and we are here with you Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from approximately 12:15 p.m., bringing you pressing issues that is affecting our citizens in this country. Those that are voiceless, those that are very, very timid by nature, gullible, those that don't have a voice, do not know how to express their concerns. This platform, this program is their window, is their doorway to expressing themselves. Now, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, our blessed twin island, has been under a state of emergency from the 30th of December 2024 last year, which is just about 22 days ago. My friends, the state of emergency, as was announced by the Prime Minister of this country, came into effect because of certain intelligence received by the members of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service regarding to mass killings in our country on Old Year's night gone. All right? The intelligence they received, and what they said is that, that gang members throughout the country of Trinidad and Tobago, they were planning to have, gang warfare, so to speak. As a result of that, a state of emergency was implemented. Now, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, the murder toll for last year, Imam, was 644. Okay? 644. Today is the 20th of January 2025. And reported, there have been 19 murders so far. Imam, which is approximately one a day. So the burning, glaring question is, if you would hear school children asking their parents this at home, that mom, dad, is the state of emergency that we are under really effective? Is it really serving its purpose? And if this murder and this haymen, this lawlessness continue to escalate in our country, then what is the next move? What is there in the Constitution other than a state of emergency to be extracted and implemented in this country? Now, that's a very, very big question. That's a question for the law minds and those who are sitting in Parliament, the 41 members of Parliament in the House of Representatives. That is a burning question for them to answer. But are they prepared to answer that? That is the government, Imam.
And again, Trinidad and Tobago, my friends, what my co-host, Mr. Premchand Baldew, has really and truly identified here is that you know, there's a situation that people would say a water more than flour, right? Now, we have been examining carefully what really and truly is transpiring in our country at this point in time, right? Director, is there a problem there with the volume? Okay, so again, Trinidad and Tobago, those of you who are watching our news set, you're going to realize that you are looking at us and the waterfront in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. As I continue, Premchand have identified that what next? If this, because basically what we are seeing, this SOE really and truly is not working.
It's ineffective.
Right?
So what next?
Yeah, it came out of some maybe intel, as he related to you all, that maybe there would have been some gang warfare and so forth. But again, when we look at the Caribbean islands and you look at the strategies that they are using, when we look, as a matter of fact, you have a clip there. You have a clip there on the Jamaican Commissioner of Police and what they are doing. Our Commissioner of Police is on autopilot because the SOE, just like when there was COVID-19, the Minister of Health would have been on media every day, morning and evening, identifying and giving us a ball-to-ball commentary.
With the Prime Minister.
Yeah, what is going on.
Yes.
And we are saying this, that we are in the dark. The citizens of our country is in the dark. We don't know what is going on. Yes, it is a state of emergency where the police, they have all the rights to stop, search you without warrant. They can enter your premises and so many different things. They can strip you naked if they would like to do that. They can strip you naked on the streets because there is no law really and truly that can prevent them from that because this is a state of emergency.
It's a dangerous place.
It's a dangerous, yeah, and I'll
yes.
tell you something, from last week's program you have realized, Trinidad and Tobago, that because of the state of emergency, what has transpired is that 2 cruise ships turn around and they reschedule their itinerary that it would not include Tobago. Not Trinidad, because basically no cruise ship comes to Trinidad
anymore.
We have already, as I said before, when we talk about tourism have been buried. The prayers have been, you know, the kata has been read, and all everything has finished.
Yeah.
So we are living in a state right now that people, the country citizens, they are looking for a way out. You know,
but Imam, hear this, right?
We are like salmon spawning upwards.
Yes. Now,
Upstream.
Trinidad and Tobago, every consulate, meaning every embassy in every country in the world that is posted in Port of Spain, Trinidad, they have already informed their government and their citizens that Trinidad and Tobago is under a state of emergency, and the reason for the state of emergency, which is gang warfare, which is senseless killing, which is crime, which is mayhem, murder, and whatnot. So nobody is going to come here.
And exactly,
Right?
and when there is gang maneuvering and taking over certain sectors of our society, basically that would have prevented. You know, we're talking about the big picture, and people are saying, and you know, they are saying that they are willing to spend $140 million in Carnival, right? And when we ask the question, that has been a question that has been parading in front of the eyes of many of us activists and politicians alike, and opposition members and critics at large. They would have been asking, where is the report? Where is the monies that is generated from the so-called carnival fetes and parties and so many things? And tourism, right? And you're going to realize that we have not received anything of that nature, where the government of the day can state clearly that here what? We invested $140 million.
And the returns is $210 million.
And our profit for that period of time
is $60 million.
$60 million. They
Never,
can't do
never.
that. They could never give you that. And basically, what we are seeing is, like, you know, it's a pot-hung society that we are living in. Everybody wants to lick the same pot. And you know something? There's nothing in the pot, Prem. There's nothing in that pot.
So
the juta in the pot. So basically, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago is not a good place to be at this present time. And you know something? They are going to try to woo. They are going to try to call people, and basically, who is going to come here? Who is going to come to Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago? Maybe a few of the stars who would like to be, you know what? They would like to get publicity, because every time they come to Trinidad, something happens. You look at the past. Somebody pelts somebody, and this one and that. And you know, it's a kind of political scenario that transpired in the stardom of Bollywood and Hollywood and all these places. Right? So basically, Trinidad and Tobago, what we are saying here is that the carnival where $140 million is being spent, I be basically stating here on our program, they have to justify that. We are not saying don't do it. We can't say that because basically the United National Congress have been lobbying for certain things not to happen via the budget debates and so forth. And nothing but budget recommendation was made and not a single thing was changed. And it clearly indicates that, you know, this government is not a government by the people, for the people. It is a government that it is for them and themselves alone. Because what we are seeing, we saw MP Barry Padarat making some statement there, and I think that was also made by the opposition leader. And I want Trinidad and Tobago to understand clearly what is happening. So, Director, run that clip again.
Now, I want to tell you this. Whether or not Stuart Young serves 1 day, 2 days, 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months as Prime Minister of this country, how it works is that he will receive $87,000 a month for the rest of his life. Because what happens is that your pension as a Prime Minister does not start like members of Parliament when you are 55 years old. It starts automatically when you demit the office of Prime Minister. I want you all to understand that very clearly. At any age, once you demit the office of Prime Minister, you are entitled to the $87,000 a month. And Stuart Young, if he serves 1 day or 6 months, he will be entitled to that. Now you might ask yourself where I'm going with all of this.
So here it is, we are in a quandrum, right? We are in a quandrum in the sense that, my friends, we had seen in the past, if what MP Barry Padarat is making that statement, and he is alluding to the fact that if you spend 1 day, that is the word he said.
As Prime Minister.
As the Prime Minister. So
your pension kicks in immediately.
So we are talking about Colin Imbert, he's getting pension as a Prime Minister.
We have to be so.
I mean, callers, maybe you can call and verify that for us. 37, those of you who have that information, you can share it with Trinidad and Tobago, because right now we are looking for information. We are lacking information, and you cannot get those information via intel from the Daily News or from the, you know, the media houses that represent freedom of the press and freedom of speech.
The general populace is thirsting for that type of information,
and
it's not coming.
And another thing, again, I remember Mr. Jack Warner. Now, if that statement is correct,
he's also
then
receiving.
Mr. Jack Warner is supposed to be receiving Prime Minister pension because he served a couple of days, I think 5 days or 4 days, he was the Prime Minister of his country. So I think somewhere down the line, I think that is not really and truly.
It needs to be revisited.
Yeah, applicable, because Jack Warner, he is, and he was acting as the Prime Minister when Kamala Persad-Bissessar was not there. I think she went to a summit or something of that nature. And we have seen Colin Imbert, maybe about 3 or 4 times, he was Prime Minister acting. So again, if that is correct, then Trinidad and Tobago, we are really fools. We are really fools, because I tell you something, I going back to the statement here.
The age of 55, yeah?
Yeah, I going back, and both of them has crossed the age of 55. So I going back to that where the legislation, they are making legislation, and I think the Minister Donna Cox, Social Welfare Minister, she was supportive of it in the sense that, and she was trying to explain it, but I can't understand where she got tied up in the sense that you can't explain something that is erroneous, and it's something that really and truly is only applicable to some people, and then again to the others it is not applicable. And that basically is total discrimination against the citizens of a country, where you are stating that if you have 20, whatever is good for the goose should be good for the gander. This is what our program is all about. We are here dissecting and trying to identify the anomalies of these people who are in Parliament, because that is where the legislation is being made.
I'm glad you made that point, Imam.
Yes.
I like that point you make. Now, let me just take over here a bit. All right? Stuart Young, if he is in the position of Prime Minister for 1 hour, as Barry Padarat said, or 6 days or 1 day, he would be entitled to a pension, even though he's 40 years old or 36 years old, of $87,000. Our beloved people of Trinidad and Tobago, our beloved politicians of Trinidad and Tobago, what about our pensioners? 9 years ago, when Ms. Persad-Bissessar was in government, our pensioners, our senior citizens received 2 raises in pension, Imam. All right? Here we see ministers and prime ministers that they are you know, they are set to benefit by, you know, 47% in raise of pay and pension, whereas our senior citizens are there, you know, they are wallowing, trying to come out of the little mess they are in. However, it is very, very difficult. No, my friends. Dr. Ashni Singh, the Minister of Finance in the Guyanese government, he announced that in the 2025 budget, that electricity will be reduced by 50%. Right? Electricity consumption would be, if your bill is $100, you'll be only 50. The government is going to absorb the rest of that, right? He is going to abolish all bridge toll. Now in Guyana, I've been to Guyana on many occasions. There are some bridges where you have to pay to pass, right? There's a little slot machine there, you're pushing your card, you're pushing your money, and that's
it. Like the Demarara Bridge.
Right. So he has abolished that. Free access to and from Guyana, between Guyana, for his people. He has also reduced personal income tax from 28% to 25%. My friends, he has also increased old age pension from 36,000 to 40, increased from 36,000 to $41,000. Also, the blessed, the gracious, the loving, compassionate President, Dr. Irfan Ali, and I'm sure you all are aware of this, he has proposed a $100,000 grant for every mother that gives birth to a newborn baby.
Basically, those things are really and truly, my friends, it is basically, you know, a gift on a platter.
What about our people?
Now, I tell you something, there's a verse in the Bible that tells you the stone that the builder reject becomes the cornerstone. And you will realize that a period of time, the Guyanese people were like, you know, a throwaway. They were like nothing in the eyes of many, many people.
They were the fig skin. When we defig,
yeah, they were discarded.
Yeah.
But today, you know, that's one of the reasons why, you know, you cannot always believe that you're going to remain high and mighty all the days of your life. And another thing, as we dissect the pension plan, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, at one period of time, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisasa, she served, right? Yeah. So clearly indicated now she is beyond 55, so she could be collecting another 87,000 pension. And these are things that we have to go into details.
Don't hide that fact.
Because you see, at one point in time, when that proclamation was made via legislation, has been sent to Parliament.
They rejected
and it was rejected, right? Now we are saying this, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisasa was the Prime Minister of our country. And the question is she collecting $87,000 in pension? Now, when you look at that, right, when you look at these types of monies, 87,000, there are people in our country who cannot even see $8,700 for the month.
So collecting that kind of money, man, why would you want to dimit office?
Understand me? So the point I'm making here is that all of us, we as a group of hard-working, loyal citizens in our country, the decision has to be made by us, whether or not we are going down that very said road again, where they're going to eat us, chew us up, and spit us out like, you know, bones after a dog having a meal. And that is what we are seeing in our country at this point in time. Because again, what is going to change? You tell, what is bright in the horizon?
I like what you said it. Yeah. What is there for the poor man? What is there for the humble citizens? Look what Dr. Irfan and Dr. Ajit Ashni Singh is giving to their people. You know, they are giving their people, Imam, gold in a golden platter. Right? You know that, and remember the pension also got $100,000 grant the other day too, you know. That is one side from their pension. Now, Imam, what can I say about our people? When Trinidad, you know, Trinidad enjoyed an oil boom for approximately 40 years, you know, man. What did our people receive? Were there any cuts in taxes and pension and whatever?
Nothing. All really and truly that I think the pensioners is getting at this point in time. Listen, Trinidad and Tobago, certain elements of our society who traverse the land via PTSC. Now, tell us something, you're going to realize when you look at the components, there are people in our country, when it comes to people in south of the Caroni Bridge, they are not going to know Port of Spain. They are scared to even come to Chaguanas. Right? So you're telling me the government of the day has afforded bus passes for citizens. You check and see who uses any bus passes.
You know, Imam, pensioners could have gone to Tobago free on the water taxi. You know, Mr. Imbut, he included a $25 fee now. Look what this government is doing to our people. Now, let us move forward a bit. Trinidad and Tobago presently have 19 murders in this country, and that is what was reported. There could be more. We hope there is no more. Now, the Commissioner of Police in Jamaica, Director, is that clip ready? Do you have that? Okay. The Commissioner of Police in Jamaica, Mr. Kevin Blake, stated that there have been 12 police killings in the country, meaning police shot and killed 12 bandits already for the year. All right? He stated that criminals are trading their guns at the police. And he, as Commissioner of Police, his office has spent millions and millions of dollars in training his officers. Training his officers to maintain law and order and peace in Jamaica. And to protect the citizens of Jamaica and to protect the police officers' own lives and that of their families. And to take out the criminals, to flush them out from society, those who are trading their guns at the police in Jamaica. That is what is called an aggressive approach to crime fighting. Imam, let me hand over to you now. Yeah. What crime fighting measures under a SOE and outside of a SOE has our beloved Commissioner of Police, Mrs. Ola, implemented so far? That's a question we're trying to make.
What we have seen, those of you who are looking onto our program, Hardfacts, the number 372-2129 is a number you can call us, and maybe you can raise any issues that is affecting you. We are just debating relevant issues at this present time, because maybe we could change this whole program because of one caller, and maybe you have something that is more pressing and more important than this discussion that we are having here for our Monday program on Hard Facts. Now the murder toll is 19, which is one a day, and then we are not hearing anybody stating anything. It seems as though the citizens of our country, we have become comfortable in our zone, and we feel that all bandits should be shot and killed. That is our mentality, and that's it. And the Commissioner of Police can do bedtime stories, and the Prime Minister can say whatever he wants and collect his big fat pension. And we look at the politicians in our country who are really and truly, I tell you something, today lunchtime, right? Today, if there's parliament in Port of Spain, lunchtime would have been, a normal lunch hour would have been, maybe break for lunch would have been from 12:30 to 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That would have been a normal lunch break period. Now, I tell you something, politicians, when they finish, they could go to the trough and they can select what they want to eat.
The best.
And the best, they can eat their lavish meal. They would have a menu and itinerary, what they are going to eat for lunch today. Some of them would fast maybe tomorrow when they know there's good menus for today. But the point I'm making, there are people in our country at this point in time in Trinidad and Tobago do not know where they're going to get a meal. I tell you something. And it is heart-wrenching to know for a fact that sometimes, people, they are professional people. I don't want to call it profession, but one guy who is a professional individual, he came to me this morning, and you know what is his position? Sometimes you will look at YouTube and you'll see there's documentary where people are sleeping in their motor cars. Mm-hmm. They are sleeping in their motor cars, my friends.
Homes, yes.
No mobile homes. They are sleeping in their vans, their SUVs, because they have no place to go. They can't pay the rent. And these very said people, they will go to the gym in the morning, not really the gym, but to take a shower. And they will go to some tent somewhere there where some charitable organization,
so they can receive a breakfast.
Yeah, where they could have a microwave and maybe a toilet facility, and maybe they can wash their do their laundries and so forth. But this morning, I tell you something, you all, that's the reason why I'm raising this. Some of you know exactly what you're going to eat lunchtime. But this guy, he's sleeping in his car, right? And I tell you something, he's a professional person. And because of stress and hardship, there are a lot of financial problem people are going through at this point in time. He cannot pay rent.
Imam, that is why I made the comparison with Dr. Ashni Singh from Guyana, the Minister of Finance, what he's given to his people, right, as recommended by the President, and what our people is going through.
We receiving nothing
now,
from the government.
That guy you're speaking about, who does not know where the next meal is coming from. He did not have a meal before speaking to the Imam, probably a day or two he didn't have a meal.
And he came to me this morning. I tell you something, my place, my establishment, really and truly, a lot of people come to pass through here on a weekly basis, right? And you would hear, you notice we come here on programs, and we do not prepare any information or we do any investigation, I will come here and I will speak off my head simply because I am living it. I am feeling the pangs, right? I am feeling the pulse of the nation. People come to us with their problem. Last week we talked about problem. I called the councillor for the area and I told him, I said, well, councillor, you go and check out Pingla Street. Pingla Street has a problem with the excess garbage. I tried to get Adrian, but I really and truly didn't get him. But again, those are things that we are doing. We are trying to correct situation in our own capacity on this program, Hardfacts and Sentinel Media Broadcasting. So we are trying our best. So those of you who are watching us, feel free, join us in our program. This program is not Prem program or Rashid program. This program is a collective bargaining chip that we have created for you, the citizens of this country. Tell us what is going on, right? Tell us what is going on. We can't afford to pay people, pay big monies so that we can be able to do international blogging and all these things. No, we are not like that. But again, those of you, the handful of people, the 400-500 people who run through our page and watch our program, we are saying to you, share this video and prepare yourself. Come outside there because people want to hear, people want to know what is going on in your community and things is not going good. The more you keep it down, right? When you remain silent, I remember giving you, before I take this break, I was just telling you something. Before we take this break, Mountain for pension? I was in the bank for Mountain, right, Prim? I was in the bank for Mountain.
For pension, though?
No, I went in there for Mountain, right? Okay. And I reached the age for pension, don't get tired. Right? So my friends, those of you who are locked on, when I went there, that was in the bank in Market Street, Chagonas. And I heard a commotion from outside. A commotion from outside. One lady started bawl and shout and bawl and, she tried to create a kind of a madness atmosphere for the banking system. The manager of that bank who was sitting in her cubicle there, she came out and she went straight by the door, right? And she collected the document, whether it is a check or whatever, and she went and she cashed that check immediately, right? And that lady walked out the bank. As she passed the treaders of the step there and she hit the Market Street, she was calm again. So the point that I'm making to Trinidad and Tobago, if you remain silent, you're going to remain silent for the rest of your life.
And achieve nothing.
And achieve nothing. So let's take a break. Call us 3722129. If you want to criticize the program, you want to say something negative about the program, we don't have a problem because positive or negative, we are here, we're going to remain here, and we're going to do our program. So stay tuned as we take our first break and we ask you, my friends, those of you who are locked on, 3722129, call us and let's have a discussion on relevant issues that is affecting you, the citizens of our country.
Yes, Trinidad, it's your favorite hardware island express. We are having a massive sale on all items. Don't mind the prices you may see on the products because you can negotiate your prices and budget with us. No other hardware can do it like us. Come in today and take advantage of this massive sale. We are located Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity. You can also call us at 308-5318.
So welcome back, friends, to our program Hardfacts on Sentinel Media Live Broadcasting. With me in studio is our Reverend Imam Rashid Karim, And my friends, last week, Monday, the Imam and I spent approximately 8 hours going up to the Komoto area where a double murder took place, home invasion that is, where a lawyer, Mrs. What's her name again, ma'am?
Kumari Baksh.
Kumari Baksh and her husband.
Majid Baksh.
You're right. They were slain, and we were there. Again this week, the director has a clip there. There was a double homicide in Belmont. Director, can you bring up that clip? Not as yet. Okay. There was a double homicide in Belmont where 2 people were assassinated, if that's the right word to use. And it goes on, and people are very, very scared in our country. When children go to work and go to school, the parents, there's an added stress in their mind. Will my child return home safe? And that sort of thing. There's this mental stress is really bringing down people, Imam, and reducing us to a state of helplessness, so to speak. All right? Now, my friends, the Minister of Education, Dr. Nayan Glaspidoli, after that brawl in the Moruga High School where a student and a teacher was, engaged in a sort of a scuffle, and, the teacher received bruises to his nose and lip and face and that sort of thing, the minister came out and said that the student was suspended after that brawl. Just that. The student was suspended. Did not go on to say if there was an ongoing investigation and how far it has reached and what measures are going to be put in place, right, to prevent any such occurrences in that school. And that was the second occurrence in that school, and in other schools. And if it does happen again, what measures are in place or would be put in place for counseling for the students, both the perpetrator and the person who was who was bullied. And then it goes further that what about the teacher? What about the other teachers, Imam, in that school? Would they be willing to really teach now, or are they scared out of their wits to handle these students?
I could just butt in a bit, right? I'll tell you something. In Trinidad and Tobago, at this point in time, my friends, the profession, just like how the police service was a highly adored position and a highly respected position, right? Because I'll tell you something, when a police officer would come close to a child, the child would gravitate to the police officer and the family would want to take out a photo and all these things. That is not happening anymore, simply because of the lackadaisical attitude of the system. Lackadaisical attitude of the system. I'm not saying officers, like the Prime Minister said, that some officers lock in the police station, out in the light, and let it go into bed and hide in.
And that statement made by the Prime Minister was was rejected by the Commissioner of Police and the Minister of National Security.
They say everybody.
So who is really speaking the truth here?
Everybody's singing for their supper, right? And something, I tell you something. If the Commissioner of Police really and truly had the prerogative, I know suppression. I know suppression of position because I was in certain position whereby before you make a press release, you have to consult. You have to consult with the hierarchy of the system. I wouldn't even say party, but the system or the organization.
Then that office is not independent anymore.
Exactly. So basically, they would vet your communication, and you have to go through certain protocols. And basically, you are fed up of that system, so you're going to just remain dormant and silent. I think that is the reason why the Commissioner of Police cannot and will not come out and state facts, what is taking place. I know she kind of adjusted herself a bit and said that, that wasn't true, or she defended the police service a bit. We know that the police is not doing that. Which police doing that? Which station doing that? Making a ballpark statement
is really, really outrageous, stupid statement. No police station is locked.
And knowing for a fact that it coming from, where? It's coming from the head of National Security. And then again, Director, you have a video where the Prime Minister is stating, right? The Prime Minister is talking about the police, right? That they don't have artilleries and they don't have anything, and they're blind, and all these things that he said in that clip. I don't know if you could just pull that clip and run that clip. But I was talking about, I was talking about the teaching profession at this point in time. Teachers are frustrated. You go in any staff room at this point in time, many of those teachers who are likely to feel threatened in their class, they're not going to that period. And that has been accustomed reasoning, because they feel threatened in that classroom, and you know what? They're going to, they will tell the principal, well, I'm not feeling well.
I'm not safe. I don't feel safe.
Oh, so much
Yes.
so, and they will go in staff room till that period finish, and they'll take the Form 1s, the Form 2s, and the Form 3s, Form 4s, Form 5s, maybe they would deliberately shun those classrooms because of the violence, the school violence that is taking place. And you know, they're not nipping it in the bud. This is our problem. Our problem in Trinidad and Tobago is that the relevant agency, they would see something and they would turn a blind eye towards it. And when they turn a blind eye towards it, my friends, it escalates, and it becomes something that you need to amputate. And that is what the government is not seeing. They have done things. You know, our government has been, you know, they're going backward. I could give you 100 excuses where this government is going backwards, and reasons. And I would have told you on many occasions that there's nothing to push or propel this country to go forward. What is it that this country really and truly have to offer? What it is that we have to generate foreign exchange? What is it that we have to woo tourism? What is it that we are planning for our youths to stay out of crime? What is it that we are doing for the religious bodies in our country to give them some sort of leverage so that they could cooperate with the governmental agency? Nothing have been done in the past 10 years. When Kamla Prasad Bisesa was there, she tried her best by giving, I tell you something, when as a Muslim and as an Imam, this government, this PNM government, have shown discourtesy and disrespect to the Islamic community on many occasions. The lies to feed the needy, the poor, the wayfarers, the widows, the orphans, and so forth during the period of Ramadan, so that they could spend a good Eid, right? Most of the times, you know, the money is given somewhere down 6 months later. What sense does it make? When a man hungry, you feed him. Not when a man belly full, you go and you offer him bread, you offer him ham, you offer him lamb, you offer him jam. He wouldn't accept it. And that is why the government of the day, they are not thinking. And you know something? The government is getting away with murder.
You know why?
They are getting away with murder. I know what you're going to say. Go ahead, say it.
Because of a weak opposition in parliament. The opposition is dormant, inactive. Now, as the Imam was saying, in 9 years, what has this government generated to propel this economy into growth and development for the people of this country? Listen, let me tell you what they did. Last week, around Thursday, Friday, so, Minister Imbut, the Minister of Finance, who cannot account for $3.6 billion, who cannot account for 74 million from TT Post missing, who cannot account for $580 million from TSCT. Thank God for the Auditor General, Ms. Jaiwanti Ramdas, who discovered all these discrepancies. The Minister of Finance in Trinidad and Tobago, unlike the Minister of Finance in Guyana, Dr. Ashni Singh, our Minister of Finance, he says cash flow, meaning there's less money circulating in the country. Cash flow hampers VAT repayments to businesses.
That happening in Trinidad. That happening
here
all the
so
time.
What growth and development is there in the economy?
And I'll tell you something, Prem. You mightn't know this as a businessman, right? As a businessman in this country, anytime you make stringent application to get back your VAT returns, you know what? They will call and say they're coming to audit you.
To scare you off.
And scare,
Yeah.
no, that is the tactics they're using. They're going to tell you, well, here what, we coming to audit your business, and you get your stuff ready, and we coming to check you. And basically, people today, I'm telling you this, people today, they're paying the VAT, but they're not taking any return just to keep under the radar. That is what is happening in our country. My friends, Trinidad and Tobago, those of you who are locked on, this is a real program where we discuss real issues.
Imam, listen to me, right? The Minister of Finance, Mr. Imbut, come out and said that cash flow hampers VAT repayments in this country. We did not hear a word from the shadow minister in the opposition. What happened to you? You saw that?
And you know something?
Your job is to audit these people.
Trinidad and Tobago, why it is that we have a shop for cash? Why it is that we don't have a good cash flow? That is because of bad management when it comes to the economy. And I tell you something, you know, Dr. Keith Rowley, you know, he gave a master stroke, right? He hit a master stroke there by sending his resignation that he's not going up for any political position, whether it be governmental or whatever position. But again, when these people, right, in office, they commit atrocities and they make mistakes, are they going to just be swept under the carpet? $3.6 billion gone. Let me just say, for instance, that Colum Imbert said tomorrow, see me, I want out of politics. Is that $3.6 billion is going to be buried with him? Is the $180 million that is missing going to be buried with him? Is the $74 million from TT Post going to be buried with him?
Cremated.
And you know something, my friend Trinidad and Tobago, we take that. And you know what they're doing? They're trying to take a needle and draw the blood like a mosquito from the poor citizens of this country. Because you know what? They know for a fact that they cannot attack the big conglomerates in our country because they call in the shots. They call in the shots. Let me tell you something. I want to be real here today at Trinidad and Tobago. When you have a general election coming up here, there are big businesses in this country. They finance both parties, and you and I know that. They give to the both parties, so win, loss, or draw, them win. But there are people outside there who are deciding whether to buy margarine or Blue Band. That is what they're deciding, whether to buy a pack of Cricks or to buy a sliced bread. That is what people, you know, they're debating in their heart. I wonder if I could buy a chicken foot or a pack of gizzard. And that is what they're doing. And you and my friends outside there, you are happy. And you are not understanding that we have to stand up to save our country. Our country is going down the abyss. Our country is going down and down and down under this government. It has gone really and truly. Because look at how much money went missing. Those monies could have established, many, many programs. It could have developed the roadways. It could have developed the hospitals. What is going on? And you know something? After this SOE, I am guaranteeing you from this program, I am guaranteeing you that they're going to pelt a bill for you, the citizens of this country.
This is what the SOE costs.
In the tune of maybe billions of dollars. Maybe if, for example, the TTP and the National Security Ministry received $13 billion. Let me just say $13 billion. And you would hear that after the financial report has been made for the SOE, right? 25 billion was spent, right? 12 billion extra. You know, you're going to remain quiet and say, yeah, well, the police, this is how gullible we are. The police, you know, they run 24-hour shift. And the police is saying this. The Prime Minister, who is the head, who hired these people, he's the chief of staff. He is saying that the police, they're sleeping in the station. So if they're sleeping in the station, how can we get this big bill? How can we get this big bill? My friends, I tell you something. We had to really and
you know why you get away with that kind of murder?
Same.
First degree murder because of a dormant opposition in government. That's the people who we voted for to represent we and to, you know, put a macro-in eye on the government and the ministers, and they're not doing it. And we are going to vote them again.
I tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, right? If the opposition really and truly was vociferous enough, right, to really and truly unify, they cannot unify. We have been asking, and people don't come and call me and say, "But Imam, we win in the election." I am telling you here, this is a prediction. No, this is real. This is hard facts. Where it is that they're going to get the next 2 seats from, which seat going to come across, St. Augustine going to come across, La Hoqueta Talparo going to come across, which seat going to come across, Port of Spain East going to come across, Lavante West going to come across.
Philip Alexander will bring a seat. Gary Griffith will bring a seat. Vasan Barak will bring a seat for the UNC. You're daydreaming with your eye open.
And the thing about it, right, they always have something to say, well, you know, Makila Pandey, or this one and that one getting finance someday, and this one doing this. And let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. We have to stand up for what is right, or we're going to fall for everything that is wrong. Let's take a break.
I was going to say something in the name. back, my friends. Welcome back, our beloved people of Trinidad and Tobago. Those of you, most of us who are, we are citizens of this country. And, in foreign countries like the United States and whatnot, our people are very, very scared, Imam, because of, the new regime in power. They are threatening to send back citizens, those who have citizenship, those, and work permit and that sort of thing, back to their motherland. So what is really happening out there is left to be seen. Now, my friends, let us get back to our own little country, Trinidad and Tobago, where we have approximately only 1.4 million people and approximately 55 to 60 billion TT is being spent every year on the national budget with little or no accountability, transparency, and no one is being held accountable. Thank God for the United National Congress, the beautiful opposition who says nothing. Now, my friends, yesterday, the Reverend Imam and myself attended a function way deep down in Siparia, Palaseco, going on that area there. And something caught my eyes. I did not mention it to the Imam though, but I'm going to bring it up now. Skinner Park in San Fernando.
Yeah.
How much $100 million was spent to upgrade Skinner Park? Arthur Bolden Stadium, from the day the inception, the first steel was laid in the foundation, overrun into hundreds of millions of dollars of overrun costs. The Brian Lara Stadium, the Brian Lara Stadium went into hundreds of millions of dollars of overrun in costs. Then we have the Arthur Bolden Stadium. Then we have the Jean Pierre Complex in Port of Spain. And then we have the Hazley Crawford Stadium. Billions and billions of dollars have been spent in these stadiums. Trinidad and Tobago and the government of the day, Minister of Sports, are these facilities being properly utilized for our citizens? Are they bringing in any revenue to this country? What is the situation with these sporting complexes in this country? What, are there any programs for our athletes in this country? Tell us how these establishments, Skinner Park, Arthur Bolden Stadium, Brian Lara, Jean Pierre, and the other one in Port of Spain there, how is it being utilized? What is being done? What activities are taking place in these stadiums?
And as you look at the back of our screen there, you're going to see that that is exactly the location that we are speaking about. Very, very close proximity of the Jean Pierre Complex and the Hazley Crawford Stadium and stuff. Yeah. So again, my friends, what Prem is saying is exactly what we have been mentioning collectively as a unit on Hardfacts. Now, I tell you something, you're going to realize that one or two fetes are held on those occasions. Very rare we find that maybe 2 or 3 seasons. How much season we have for cricket? 1 season. And then after that is repairs. The same monies. Hey, Trinidad and Tobago.
Do they make a profit at all?
We don't make no profit, Trinidad. We just dancing, they are saying dancing top in mud. That is what we are doing. They're not doing what is right. They're doing what is right for their pockets. You see, if you build a hospital, it's going to generate, certain amount of attention. Right? It's going to generate attention. Hospital, everybody watching. But these things like stadium, and people pass and they watch all the stadium construction, they lost track of everything. You understand? That is a big milking cow that certain political parties would have created during their tenure. A milking cow where they could milk the economy of large sums of monies. And you know something? That's the stroke of a pen. Could add 3, 4 zeros. Zero, people say zero has no value. Hey, zero has no value. They would stroke some zeros there, and instead of $1 million, it become $1 billion. And then it come 10 million and 10 billion. And my friend Trinidad and Tobago, we are suffering under what? We are suffering under poverty in this country. I am telling you, as a businessman in this country, you understand? The amount of pressure, everything, I tell you, everything is who you know or who know you. A normal lay person cannot get nothing done.
People still selling you items, and when they're selling, they're sorry, underselling the prices they're selling.
Yes. The point I'm making, anything you're doing in this country, right? You have to know somebody. You have to know somebody. You're going in the hospital, for you to get a bed in that hospital, you have to see somebody. Hey, I know that fella, that David's son and or daughter, right? And then I go and call she and say and introduce myself. Look, I see Imam Rashid, and my daughter here or my son sick, and we out in the corridor for six hours. And that's the only time you get in bed because it doesn't have no normal flow. It's who you know. Anywhere you go, Trinidad and Tobago, you call my station, 3722129, and say what you're saying is lies. Anywhere you go, somebody, you have to know somebody, and majority of the time they treat you as though you working for them. You would find, you're dealing with somebody right now, right? In front, they're doing the paperwork for you. Whether it be TIK, whether it be WASA, whether it be in immigration or whatever. And you see all of a sudden, the phone, they have it on vibration. And they take up the phone and they watch it and they get lost concentration and they start to make mistake in your form. Then they have to do it over. Have you not seen those things? Or they get up and they walk outside, excuse me a minute, I have to take this, and they go across. So what do you have to take that call for? You are a public, you all understand what is the meaning of public servants? That is not my maid, a private servant. You all who are getting monies out there, who working for the government of the day, you are classified. There's a term that is used for you. You are classified as a public servant.
Your job is to serve the public for the 8 or 7 hours that you are working.
You have to administer justice to all, not because somebody didn't tell you good morning, somebody didn't tell you good afternoon, or somebody didn't salute you, or somebody didn't bring something for you. You have to agitate a situation whereby you're not getting through.
Let me ask you a question. What can be done by this present regime or any other regime to change the work ethics mindset of our people? That when you go out there from 8 in the morning to 3 or 4 in the evening, minus your 1 hour lunch break, you will be focused in serving the people that come in front of you.
The very sad thing that you do with gangrene, you know gangrene? When somebody gets their foot damaged or they have diabetes. That is what you have to do. You have to get rid of these people who are bad eggs in whether it be political scenarios, whether it be private sector, whether it be public sector, whether it be in the governmental agency, whether it be in the police service, whether it be in the army, whether it be in the fire service. In politics, get rid of them. But don't get rid of a gander egg and you put a bigger gander egg. You get rid of a chicken gander egg and you put a duck gander egg there. You're not going to get any benefit from it. You have to be real, my friends. Trinidad and Tobago is not really a real place at this point in time under the government that we are seeing. The citizens are crying out. Everything just tipsy-turvy. Everything. You go in the corporation, it's favorism. You go in the boroughs, favorism. You go in immigration, it's favorism. You go anywhere in this country, nobody's for nobody again. Everybody's for somebody who they know. Imagine this, you're going to school, right? And the guards who know you, they're giving you a car park. They're giving you a park, right? And again, there are people who come in after you, and they will move the cone and say park there. That's the big shot ones. Just like what transpired recently. Who going to guard the guard? Imagine you have a security guard who you paying monies. Put that video, director. Yeah, security guard rob workplace with threats of bombing. Imagine that.
And he getting paid to protect that place, eh?
Yeah, imagine that. So when you look at our country, right? You look at our country at this point in time, huh? This is what we see. The person who you are paying to protect you, you have to be mindful. Maybe they are the miscreant ones, and they are going to cause problem and mayhem for you.
No, Imam, we got a signal from our director. So we, probably minutes away from wrapping up our program. Now, my friends, where the political arena and scenario is concerned in our country, there's a video in social media. Our director probably cannot pull up.
Minister Stuart Richard Young.
National movement. Now, look at it, right? Minister Young, the next prime minister of this country, is in full swing campaigning. All the PNM MPs who have been selected to contest, they are in full swing and they are campaigning and they are meeting the people and they are gaining the trust of the electorate where they go. What is the United National Congress position where campaign and selection of officers to represent, selection of MPs to represent the constituents and the citizens of this country? What is the UNC's position on that? Because Imam, our election is close by. It could be called any time after 90 days.
We telling the pot black, right? We telling the pot black, and we are watching we own self now. We are watching we own self. I tell you all, Trinidad and Tobago, this is real thing that happening in front of us, and if we do not agitate and people don't come forward sincerely, people who come forward with a clear conscience and a clear heart. You understand? We're going to go back in opposition again.
Imam,
we are going to go back in opposition again.
If the PNM happens to win this general election coming, property tax is going to come like a lion in front of your face and roar, and there's nothing you could do about it. Crime is going to escalate. The SOE might continue again. No, SOE can't continue. All right? Tax is going to go up. What, you know, we need a change in government. But what are we as a people, and I said we as a people, doing? Have you forgotten all the hardships that you endured under this government for the past 9 years, when our people had to line up to get a injection for COVID, and there were no vaccines available? You all recall all of that? Imam,
I'll tell you something. Calm yourself a little bit, because we're going down in age.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that we're going down in education and knowledge,
Imam,
and wisdom.
Why we get hyper in this program? Because in our hearts, we care for ourselves, our own existence, and that of our forthcoming generations to come in this country. Where are we leaving them? What condition are we leaving the country in for later to prosper and survive?
And you know something, Trinidad and Tobago, on this program, right, we come here with a clean conscience, a clean heart, and you know, we sometimes inspiration, if you want to call it that, come to us and we dissect and we bring forward a real hard facts for you all. And I tell you something, I have seen on this program many times we give suggestions. And you know, other people in our society, they take our suggestion, they camouflage it a bit, they powder it up a little bit, and you know, they implement it, and you know, they get through. Now I tell you something, in this election that is coming, now these fellas and them, like Stuart Young and all the ministers in government, right? They know exactly, well, here what, for us to really remain in government, we have to maintain and retain our seats. That's the reason why you're going to see them now. They're going to spend money, because money is going to spend. That's not their money. They're going to buy votes, if you want to call it that. They're going to just give everybody whatever they need at this point in time. And then afterwards, one segment of our society has to pay that bill. Try to open all your eyes and see what's going on. And the United National Congress at this point in time, you are the alternative government.
Government in waiting.
Yeah, you are the alternative government. You have to start implementing under proper leadership certain strategies, not the same old thing. We lost the election in 2015. We lost the election in 2020. We lost the election. I don't want to say we lost it, but what I'm saying, my friend Trinidad and Tobago, if you look at what advisors they were given the advice, I was part of that team in the sense that I was on the ground floor working. And when you look at the momentum of the two elections, let me look at the 2015 election when we were at the Renzi complex. The whole board was yellow. When it's about 9:30, the whole board was yellow. All you remember that?
15 minutes after,
everything.
Dr. Rowley stood up and said we have won the election. And nobody while votes were being counted.
Everything changed. When we look at the 2020 election, the very same thing happened. Right? And nobody's questioning why it is that, who is monitoring? Is there any international monitors and observers? Are we going to go down the same road? Are we going to go down the same road? Where is the SCs, the senior counsels in the party? Where are those people who are lawyers, men like Larry Lala and Dinesh Rambali? Where are these guys? Where are the senior counsels and the senior people of jurisprudence in our country? Why can't they come out there? Are they staying back there for a reason? That here what, hey, you know, let me take a bite and...
You know, Imam, has the United National Congress or the official opposition of this country thrown up their hands in the air and said, hey, we have lost already? Because that is the way it is looking.
We live in on false hope, right?
People, we have lost. So back into opposition, we're happy.
When we look at what is going on, because of the abnormalities of the PNM actions, right? We have seen implementation. We see a failure when it comes to security. We see a failure when it comes to health. We see a failure when it comes to education. We see a failure when it comes to tourism. We see a failure when it comes to agriculture. What more do you all want to ensure? I know for a fact that you all are saying, you know something, who we go put? Right? I know for a fact you all saying, if we get rid of Kamala Prasad Bisesa, who we go put? But that was a calculated strategy. If you all don't know, that was a calculated strategy. I don't want to go down there because...
Let me say it in colloquial terms. Who we go put? Dead na? Dead, and see if they're replaced it immediately.
Now, the objective of that prayer might be a little blunt there, but what we're saying, if I die tomorrow, and
You will be replaced.
I will be
That's the
replaced.
point I'm making.
Right? But the point here, Trinidad and Tobago, is that if you have no hereditary planning taking place,
Then you have failed.
right? You don't have, like for example, in my mosque, I have 3 people training right now. If something should happen to me, we get people to replace me tomorrow. We look at the PNM. You think this happened overnight? You think the PNM, Dr. Keith Rowley, selected Stuart Young overnight? Remember who was the blue-eye boy? The blue-eye boy was called Imbert. You all not remembering that? He was the master blaster, and he was the giggler, and he was the smiler, and he was the joker, and he was everything to Dr. Keith Rowley. And all of a sudden we see a change of heart. And you know what? Another inheritor, another hereditary person was selected for the movement of the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago.
And don't forget, Dr. Keith Rowley has exited the political stage with grandeur, with splendor. He did not wait to be voted out or kicked out. He is going to tender his resignation, and gracefully he's going to go.
That is a calculated strategy by Dr. Keith Rowley.
Yes.
And I commend him for doing that.
Of course.
Because I know for a fact, let me tell you something. As I said in our program here, and I want Trinidad and Tobago to listen as we make our concluding remarks, $3.6 billion went missing. Colm Imbert vacated his position this upcoming election via reason of health or reason of insanity or reason of anything, right? Or failure to perform again. And he said, well, okay, I coming out. That is, you remember Trinidad and Tobago, every week, Faris Al-Wari would have been in the daily newspaper. He would have been the talk of the town in the political scenario. The United National Congress would beat him like a donkey from Manikou to exit the rear end. They would have been doing that to Faris Al-Wari. All they did, they shift Faris Al-Wari to CPEP and whatever corner so, and everybody forget that. A police officer commit a crime, you transfer him, and everybody forget it. That is the system, that is the two-day mentality that you and I have. I am saying it's about time, Trinidad and Tobago, we stand up for this right. Something that is just. You are suffering. The citizens of this country, we are suffering. Because we're not getting anything coming back to us from the government. All they are doing is taking. They have taken our wealth. Right? They have taken our family. They have taken our spirituality. They have taken our morality. And now, my friends, you know what? The little lodge and the sanctuary that you and I holding on to with a thread like a spider's web. We holding on to our homes. And they come in to take that. My friends, rock so. Let us join together. Let us band together. If Kamala Prasad Bisasa have to be the next Prime Minister, I have no damn choice but to say here what I am going to support. Because I tell you something, half bread is better than no bread. Half bread is better than no bread.
Correct. Yeah. And you know, Trinidad and Tobago, as we end our program, there was a clause that was included in the pensionable people who would be qualifying for pension, that sort of thing. That if you have $25,000 or more in your bank account, you would not be eligible for pension. Do you think that was an error, a mistake, a typographical error? No, my friend, that was deliberately put there. And up to this day, the Attorney General, neither the Minister of Finance or the Minister of whatever she is, cannot give a proper excuse how and why that was included there. And you know what? The opposition stood there and swallowed it. So my friends, we have come to the end of our program, Imam. It has been a really power-packed 1 hour program. The Imam has other pressing commitments. He has to attend meetings and that sort of thing. So with this, this being said and done, my friends, we have come to the end of our program. We wish our people, a safe Trinidad and Tobago. We wish that every home has food to eat, and everybody who has left their homes to pursue whatever they have for today will return home safely, because Trinidad and Tobago is under a state of emergency.
Thank you very much, Prem. Thank you very much, Prem. And Trinidad and Tobago again, as we make our final turn around, in the sense that here what? You as an individual, you see, there's a saying, right? Be the change that you want. Become the change that you want. You want goodness to follow you, then you have to make that change for goodness to follow you. right? So again, as we close, I want to thank you all, those of you who are looking onto our program. And maybe you can give us a text, maybe you can WhatsApp, maybe you can just give us a hello, and we're going to respond, we're going to reciprocate to you. And we ask you all to share this video and let John Public outside know that, here what, you have a voice Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Until Wednesday, I bid you all, may God bless you and keep you all safe. Thank you and goodbye.